Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Josh.
I'm Ryan.
And welcome back to Fin Specs. So this week I rode the new Jack Robinson template in Honeycomb. This fin also comes in Tech Flex. I didn't ride that just because the conditions didn't really suit it. It was, the waves are really small and weak, and I think Honeycomb was definitely the better call. And then the other fin I rode was the new JS fin in Honeycomb as well.
Yes, both by Futures.
Yes, both by Futures. They definitely worked very differently. The JS is more of like kind of neutral template, more or less. And then the Jack Robinson is a serious rake. Yeah, so looking at the Futures Jack Robinson and looking at the Futures JS, yeah, they're definitely pretty different. The leading edge is kind of similar up to about halfway up the fin, and then the JS sweeps back a little bit more. It loses some area here, but the Jack Robinson has a more full tip. The Jack Robinson has a much more full tip actually, and the JS is much more upright. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a lot more upright right here. Yeah, these fins definitely had some major differences in the way they performed. The JS's reminded me of the Timmy Patterson fin I think we rode in episode 3 or 4, way back, over a year ago. Both size large, the size of fin I normally ride. And I would say that the Jack Robinsons are kind of closer to my usual fin template. And I usually ride the AM2 Tech Flex in large, and that's what I ride in all my boards with Futures. Pretty much all my boards have Futures boxes in them, and that's the fin I throw in first, pretty much always. But I've been playing around a little bit with the Captain Fin Wade Goodall fin. I just got a set of the John Florence fins because I had a board that needed a little more upright of a fin versus, the AM2 Tech Flex, and it's been interesting kind of messing around with that fin because I rode that fin in one of the previous episodes and I liked it a lot, but then I didn't have a set, and then I remembered how much I liked it and got a set and put it in my board, and it felt really good.
The John Tech Flex or the Scimitar ones?
The John Tech Flexes that I rode probably a little over a year ago as well, maybe a little less. Yeah, so I rode the Timmy Patterson Synthetic 84, kind of a pretty mellow rocker, not crazy bottom contours or anything, kind of like a 80s inspired, kind of small wave shortboard.
First, we'll go into the Jack Robinson fins.
Cool. Nice little left to get started.
Ooh.
Lay back.
Nice lay back turn to finish it.
Yeah, you can see the waves are definitely very small. Not a lot of punch to them.
Yeah, making the best of it. Whoa, straight into the lip. Nice cut back to start it up.
Yeah, it's definitely wasn't the best conditions for a really raked out fin, but
I like how you generated all that speed right there and then loaded to get up vertical into that lip.
Yeah, I still kind of mistimed it, but head dip.
Little shampoo action.
And just eating it. But yeah, that was what I felt with these fins kind of right away was they definitely had pretty easy speed right off the bat.
Nice wrapped out cut back.
Yeah, these I definitely liked these fins. Right off the bat they felt pretty familiar, and looking at the fin, little air. Looking at the fin, I thought it would kind of be too much rake. I thought it would be really sticky, and at times it was. Kind of backside.
I like how light and agile you were.
Thanks. Yeah, they felt a little sticky at times for being surfed in such small waves, but they definitely still worked.
Yeah. Some barrel action, nice turn off the top, and finishing it. Little layback turn.
Yeah, they were really, really fun. I was definitely stoked on these. They generated a lot of speed in the pocket. And kind of let me do what I normally do as far as going surfing. They didn't feel like too crazy. They felt like a little stiffer than what I normally ride, as far as like, you know, not being able to turn quite as tight, being that all the fins are the same size, versus the AM2, which has that a little smaller trailer. This one might actually have a smaller trailer. I'll have to look more closely, but they felt stiffer than what I normally ride.
Yeah, the conditions were tricky. But yeah, we switched it up the beach break this time because we're always usually go to Browers. Let's get into the JS fin.
All right. Yeah, very small, very cold.
Going right. Generating speed.
Trying to.
Backhand snap.
Yeah, I think you could tell like right away these just didn't have the same drive as the other fins did.
Yeah, that spark to it.
Yeah. But I did get a couple good waves.
Wait, it was this wave. This is one of the better waves. Nice cut at the start.
Yeah, did okay there.
Almost.
That air would have been really cool.
You read and set up that wave like, perfectly.
Thanks. Yeah, I was bummed I kind of came down in the flats like on that. And I'm not trying to give my knees any more damage. Little tube. It just lost
trying
all
to find the end section. The fins are a little draggy in smaller conditions.
Yeah. And then I was mistiming like backside turns and just frustrated doing chop hops.
Yeah, it looked like the fins were just very like tracky.
Yeah. it was getting pretty frustrating. Yeah, they just like
whoa, lordish behavior.
Oh yeah, nailed it. But yeah, that was, you know, that board I've ridden in a few episodes now, and yeah, there you go. I've ridden this board in a lot of episodes, and that board, I mean, pretty much any fin I put in it, it pretty much works. And this is the only fin I put in it where all the natural like drive and speed that board has was like just choked. Like it took everything that was so good about that board and like turned it against me. And that's not to say that, you know, the JS is a bad fin. It just wasn't the right fin for that board, like on the days we filmed. That's the interesting thing about fins, is that that's just the way that I surf. And like, you know, someone else could, you know, have their synthetic 84 at home and have the JS fins and be like, I'm going to try them tomorrow. And they might have the best surf. But, you know, that's the, like, ride it in a board that, you know, it was meant for.
Yeah, surfing's all trial and error, and it's all about finding, like, different feelings. And, yeah, I know how frustrating it is.
Yeah, but that's why we do this. And I found a lot of really good fins that I, you know, have gotten in the rotation.
We do this for them, so they don't have to go through the struggles.
Yeah.
The struggling. Yeah. Going back to that one clip with the JS is that bigger wave. It looked like the fins engaged more in like a faster, cuppier wave.
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, this wave. Like in the wave that, you know, that was probably the biggest wave I caught on them, and they definitely like shined.
Yeah,
you know,
I see that.
Right from the takeoff, you know, they had decent drive, wrapped in the pocket well, and then they had like good release in the lip. Like clicked perfectly. I just kind of like mistimed my jump to where, you know, instead of like coming down kind of in the white water on top of the lip and like having a nice soft landing, I landed kind of in the flats. And, you know, I'm not really committing to too many of those. It's not really.
You didn't even have to generate your own speed on the fins. The wave did it itself right there.
Yeah.
Boom, and you just took flight.
Yeah, the wave definitely helped right there. That was like a sweet little bowl that really did the work.
Yeah.
I mean, these fins definitely had their moments. They had like really good release. But as far as like with this board in like, you know, what I would call 1 to 2, occasional 3-foot surf, they just really struggled. And I don't think the waves had enough power to really, you know, be able to utilize these fins properly. This felt familiar to me as far as like being like a really raked out fin. It reminded me of the Merrick fin. Looking at this fin, I looked at it a bunch, and it looks like, you know, every fin's unique to a certain degree, but two things I looked at, like the bottom half to me looks like Merrick. like through and through. Like the whole bottom half of the fin looks like a Merrick fin.
The base to the center of the fin?
Yeah, the base to the center of the fin, like from here to here, looks like a Merrick fin. And then this part of the fin, the top half, looks like an Arakawa. But, you know, being that the Arakawa is like a medium fin, like a big medium, it's a little bit more full. So it's like a similar shape, but it's a little more full. And I felt like this fin kind of took the best of both from both of those templates. Like this, and there's so much area down here. I feel like when fins have a lot of area on the bottom half, those are the fins that give me a lot of drive and speed. You know, those are the fins that work the best for me usually. But yeah, this felt like a good wave fin. Like if you're riding a board that has like a decent amount of rocker. Honestly, kind of a lot of fin for how low rocker the Synthetic 84 is. But like kind of in your standard shortboard, if the waves are chest high and up, like this would be a really, really solid fin. And then I'd be interested to ride the Honeycombs when it's like really cooking, like when the waves are really solid and good. Because I did like this template a lot. Yeah, these felt really solid. They like drove well through the turns. Like I felt like I wasn't losing speed. I felt like I was gaining speed through turns. Not as much as far as release though. Like I feel like blowing these out and like, you know, going for like a backside turn, if I like try to slide the tail a little bit, like these were not, definitely weren't sliding. And at times, like in waves that small, they felt a little sticky. Like I couldn't quite do as much as I wanted to. But on the carves and stuff, they felt great.
Now with the JS fins, what did you feel with this template?
Yeah, the JS, I felt like maybe, you know, from after riding these, I just felt like a serious lack in drive compared to the Jack Robinson straight away. And these have a lot of base, like they have a big base, but it definitely loses some area in this part and definitely up through the tip. But they definitely felt like they had better release, I would say would be like the positive with this one. But on a day with like more powerful surf in like a different board, it would definitely work a little better, I think. Probably like a more standard short board where you don't have to like push off the fins as much to get speed when the wave's kind of doing the work. I think this fin would be a lot better. But yeah, with that said, like when the wave really stood up, like they started to work and then they had super good release out of the lip. But yeah, just like generating speed and going down the line.
Same flex pattern, but I noticed the Honeycomb is laid different throughout each of these templates.
It is a little different. I noticed that too. Yeah, there's a little less honeycomb up through the tip and kind of through all of this fin. Like it's missing from this whole area here, whereas it's a little more out to the edges in the Jack Robinson fin. So that probably made the Jack Robinson fin like a little bit stiffer, which is definitely flexier than, you know, your like standard like all glass fin or your Tech Flex. And they definitely felt
overall medium flex characteristics.
Yeah, it's not like too flexible, like you know your super flexy fin, and then it's not as stiff as say like a Tech Flex or, you know, all fiberglass fin. Yeah, I felt like I could push on them decently hard, but it felt like it was flexing more than the Jack Robinsons were. Yeah, they felt like they were flexing a little bit more. I would ride them in like chest, you know, like a couple feet overhead in a board with like a decent amount of rocker. I think that would complement this fin best. Like if you have a board with a lot of rocker that's, you know, kind of your like good wave shortboard, I feel like this would be a great fin to put in. Yeah, and then even if you have like a small wave board that has a good amount of rocker, you know, a lot of fin area gonna generate a lot of drive and could, you know, be a good fin for you.
Cool.
I would lean more to like a reef break or a point break for these fins. Like they felt okay in the beach break, but I think these would really thrive in like a good point break or a good like hollow, like punchy reef break. These would be pretty amazing. And then the JS's, you know, big carves, and like I think a wave with just generally more power and a board with, I don't know, maybe like kind of like a mellow rocker, not like super low like the Synthetic 84, but maybe a board with kind of like medium rocker. Yeah, and this would be, I would say it would actually be probably a pretty good fin for a point break, just because it's kind of a neutral template and you could kind of, yeah, like a good point break, you could like get up into the lip pretty quickly and release the fins. But yeah, not a fin I would recommend for like a low rocker board in like kind of tight, pockety beach break surf. And yeah, it's a interesting template kind of straight away. That was the Futures Timmy Patterson Honeycomb. This is what this fin reminded me of. Yeah. But yeah, really good down the line speed, but actually had really good down the line speed, but definitely a fin for better waves. If you're trying to like, you know, do like more snaps and like, you know, blow the fins out and stuff, but still like surfing a punchy wave. So a similar kind of wave, I think it depends on what kind of surfing you want to do. Yeah, this would definitely be more suited to, you know, kind of like big snaps in the lip and then like blowing the fins out, doing airs, that kind of thing. Yeah, like big, like open face carves, I feel like would be a good call for the Jack Robinson fin. And if you're surfing like good waves, like good punchy waves, this would be a really, really good fin. So going loosest to stiffest on the Futures scale here, starting with the Decoros at the most loose, the Hayden Shapes, the Craig Anderson Pivot, large black sticks. After that is going to be the JS, so right in between the Pivot black sticks and the Timmy Patterson. These were just a little bit stiffer than the Timmy Patterson fin. And then up next, Timmy Patterson, the John Scimitar. After that, the AM2 Honeycomb, the Mayhem 3.0, the Jordy Smith, then the Mayhem 2.0, I guess we'll call that now, the John Tech Flex, Paizel, Sharp Eye, Eric Arakawa, the Vector 3.2s, and then these were just a little bit stiffer than the Vectors, and not quite as stiff as the Jack Robinsons. The Jack Robinsons were a little bit less stiff than the Jack Freestone that we rode either last episode or a couple episodes ago. And yeah, and then going from there, the Jack Freestone, the Rake large, the DHD large, and then the Vapor Core neutral large. And then still hanging on at stiffest is the Connor Coffin, the Coffin Brothers fin. I don't know, it's an interesting thing because like the loosest to stiffest scale doesn't always translate to like how well a fin works. The JS's felt loose in how they wanted to release and stuff, and then how these things felt with like drawn out turns definitely felt stiffer. All right, and that wraps up another episode of the Fin Specs here. Let us know what you want us to try next, if it's the Jack Robinson Tech Flex or, you know, whatever else is left in the Futures line. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you want to see next. Yeah, so if you want to feel what I'm feeling with these fins and see what works for you, you can come down to the shop and do our $5 fin demo program if you live in the general San Clemente area nearby. It's only $5 and you get to try 5 different sets of fins over 5 weeks. And it was a huge help for me when I was working the floor here. I got to try a bunch of different sets of fins and really figure out what worked best for me. And I'm still doing it now. All these fins that I ride in these videos are straight from the fin demo program here, and you can take this exact set of fins out and try them and see if they work in your board.
Yeah, if you don't live in the area, Use Surf has a 30-day buy, try, and decide program for fins. You can purchase a set of fins online on their website at usesurf.com. Try them out, and you have 30 days to decide if you like them or not. If you don't like them, you can return them for full refund as long as they're not smoked or anything. And if you end up liking them, then sick.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Well, that about does it. I'm Josh.
I'm Ryan.
And we'll see you guys next time.
You're tied to a button, it's time to go.